Episode 53 of Multiplaying is brought to you by Half-Life 2 Episode 3. Hey, Tron sequel took 28 years.
Everybody online, looking good.
A companion podcast to the collaborative blog and gaming community that's playing as life allows. This is Multiplaying.
Well, let's start the insanity.
We have clearance, Clarence. Roger. What's our vector, Victor?
Hello?
Great heavens! What kind of radio show is this?
Well, welcome to Multiplaying, episode 53. Tonight's show is a special one. In some ways, you can look at the word special however you want. It is the last show for 2010 for us. So there's that. We're going into the holidays here, and we have families and shit, so... but also, this last show of the year is also going to be our first ever awards show for the podcast. Trying it out, seeing how it goes. Give us feedback if you like it or don't, or see improvements that could be made. But we hope you enjoy. So with that, we're gonna go through who we got on the show tonight. We got Jason.
Hello.
Me, Steve, and we also have John.
How's it going?
That's all right.
Are you still drinking 40 licks?
I sure am.
Really? Is that what you're drinking tonight?
I actually am, yes.
Sweet.
Are you really?
I got another bottle. It was good.
Did Mick call you and like, hey, I'm so glad.
Yeah, he's
Bought
like, you
this."
bought that shit?
You're the guy.
You're the
We'll
guy.
send you a
Just
free
like-
case.
Just like the only one buying game day, I'm the only one buying 40
Yeah,
licks.
yeah. I got a call from Mr. 7-Eleven. Like,
Mr. 7-Eleven. What are you drinking, Jason?
I am drinking a Captain's Cove.
Oh shit! How you liking that?
I'm loving it.
I would be, but I ran out of ginger ale. So
Do you still have Captain?
I do have that, but
All right, what do you have?
I don't tonight. Nothing. I just have a Diet Coke tonight.
I mean, like in your fridge, you should like mix it with something.
Something I was actually I was hoping to grab some on the way home, or like some eggnog for the season to mix it with, but don't have shit.
Well,
I got apple juice, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't think Captain would mix well with apple
Probably
juice.
not. But let's get into the awards. First, we're going to go through some bullshit awards. Let's just call them that. They're kind of like rubbers. So the first one that we're going to go with is the best game of 2010 that we totally suck at, but we still love. Jason, you want to hit this one up first?
Yeah, there's when this category was announced, there's only one game that I thought of, which there's a game I love, but I completely suck at, and I went and bought a controller peripheral for, which is Super Street Fighter 4. I love that game, but I suck ass at.
See, when we were coming up with the categories and we put this one down, it was the one that I thought that this was pretty much the reason this category was made in the first place was for Super Street Fighter 4, because both of us agreed that, yeah, this is a game that we are equally not great at, but it is still a fucking amazing game, and I still go back and play it from time to time. I was getting really into it at one point and had to push myself away because
Yeah, you were getting like really serious about this game.
I had to step away because it was like physically angering me. I would come home and play for a little bit, and it was just ridiculously aggravating to some of the rounds that I would lose that were so close. I couldn't stand the amount of stress that it was putting on me by trying to play it so much. But yes, I stepped away from it, but I still go back and play occasionally just to have fun, and it's good. It's awesome. But
Yeah,
John
that's why I can't play fighting games, because I'm so bad at them that I can never hope to be competitive. You know?
Yeah, well, that's what's funny about the game, because I've never thought of myself as being like quote unquote bad at fighting games. Just depends on the type, but when I go online and play people at that, it really shows me how goddamn awful I am at fighting games. So it's a wake up call. But John actually has since he doesn't even partake in the fighting games, you have a different choice.
I have Red Dead Redemption.
Yeah.
Basically, I don't mesh with controllers and shooting. Shooters in general. Just, I don't know why. I mean, I love Red Dead Redemption, and I want to play it, and I want to get through it, but I'm so bad at the game that almost like every like major fight that I come across, like when there's like a standoff or something, even with all the slow motion Deadeye stuff and all that stuff, I always get my ass kicked.
Really?
Like, and I'm on easy. Okay, I'm like I have no delusions about trying to play on normal. Okay, I'm not like, oh, I could totally do this. No, on consoles, I'm always like, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and go easy, and I still die. I'm just like, wow, and I understand that the AI is not trying very hard, and you know that it's really toned down. I could tell because they're like unloading rounds at me, and a lot of them are missing, but I miss more often than they do.
Oh, I don't disagree that there even on the default setting there are some fights in that game, especially later on, that are damn aggravating because
the
firefight.
Yeah, the controls in that game are the weak point of that
Yeah,
game.
definitely. It definitely is. There's a shitload of stuff that you have to remember that's mapped to that controller. I mean, rightfully so to a lot of points because of the amount of stuff that you can do with your character in the game, but it's not very intuitive, and I don't think that there was any way that they could have made it more intuitive. But it's something that you just have to really get used to. But yeah, I mean, but I will ask you though, John, you do know that like when you first bring up the targeting reticle, it does usually auto aim to the nearest target?
I don't know.
Like it's usually like right when you bring up the gun, it'll auto aim. Like if you are near a target, it'll somewhat auto aim to them. That's the one thing I ended up just learning to do. That like when I shoot someone, I'll pull up if I have the rifle on me or whatever, I'll pull it up. It'll auto target one person. I'll take a shot and then I'll immediately drop it and then pull it back up so it re-auto aims.
Okay, no, I'm actually trying to
Physically aim it.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just not good at shooters, and I love the game itself, and the story is like keeping me going, and I don't know. I'm so bad. I'm just like I'm playing it, and it's like I don't know. It's not quite to the point where I get so frustrated like in Super Street Fighter with you guys, even though I know that I would be if I was playing it. I play it and I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna do like one mission and I'll be totally cool, and then I can't finish the freaking mission, and I just get mad. I'm like, forget this. I'm gonna go play a shooter on my PC where I can like, God,
be in control.
I know, because like, okay, I tried playing any of the shooters. I mean, any shooters. I'm that retard like spinning in circles, shooting like the wall. I mean, it doesn't matter. Controls are good. Controls are bad. They're all bad to me.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, on the PC, I'm the one getting all headshots with the sniper and TF2 and stuff like that. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just...
it's a different beast, yeah.
Yeah, if I had a gaming keyboard...
Your thumbs are like mine. Your thumbs are dumb.
Yeah, I have dumb thumbs.
Dumb thumbs.
Dumb thumbs. So yeah.
Our next website's going to be called... Our next podcast is Dumb Thumbs.
Oh, God, that would be an awesome website name.
I like it.
We'll have to check and see if that's available. You know, another game I actually just thought of while we were talking about this that I probably should have put down rather than Super Street Fighter is that I think I'm actually worse at but still love, but I guess I didn't put as much time online, is StarCraft 2.
Yeah, I almost put StarCraft 2.
That's actually, I don't know why I didn't think about putting that one, because I totally suck at that game, and there's no way, I don't even step into the multiplayer on it because I just know it'll be ridiculous. I won't stand a chance. So
that's true. But I think the reason I didn't put that for this category is I didn't venture into online with StarCraft 2 at all, but I did with Super Street Fighter 4.
Right, that's true.
Yeah, like I would have put StarCraft 2 down, except I didn't do same thing. I didn't do the multiplayer as much.
None of us have the balls.
Yeah, all of us are like, screw that. I don't want to kill myself.
As soon as I heard people on other podcasts talking about build orders on stuff, I'm like, fuck.
I'm out.
I'm done. But it's just as bad with like Super Street Fighter though. Like if you go online and look at stuff, they're watching videos and seeing how people pull stuff off and how people, because like when I first was getting back into the fighting thing and watching just the regular Street Fighter 4, not the super version, and watching people online like narrate
How
fights,
you beat somebody.
like how stuff got. It was like I didn't even see that. I was like, I didn't even see like what he was pulling off. And then like the further you go down that rabbit hole with that game, it's just really interesting, like how much of a chess game that is. It's just it's mind-boggling how like just crazy that is, and like how people learn to read the other people and how much like they understand all of the characters' abilities, and it's this giant chess game.
But I think the big difference between playing something like Super Street Fighter 4 versus StarCraft 2 is when I load a match in Street Fighter, I know it's going to be over in a couple of minutes, regardless how much I suck.
right.
But if I get beat in that same amount of time in StarCraft 2, I really know I suck.
Yeah.
I mean, it's less intimidating for me as someone who sucks at both games to go in Street Fighter.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
'cause
agree
you
because
can-
when
you can
I
quit
get beaten in
pretty easy.
StarCraft 2, it's like less than 5 minutes.
Yeah, then you feel terrible because you should last longer than that. I mean, it should
Yeah,
be...
well, like there was one game in my placement match or right after it, I was like playing the guy and I was like trying really hard. I was like, all right, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do the best I can and whatever. And then he rolls in with like this ridiculous stuff, and I'm just like, how the fuck? And he gets to my base and he's like, were you AFK? And I was like, fuck.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Yeah, and I almost decided to say yes, and then I was just like, no, I'm new. And he was just like, oh, you'll get it, and wipe me out. And I was just like, damn.
You keep at it, slugger.
Yeah. He's just like, you know how you like tell a toddler, you know, you're doing so good.
Then he gave you like a bouncy ball.
And a lollipop.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's my worst loss in StarCraft 2, where he was like, were you AFK this whole time?
So we're officially voting Super Street Fighter 4 as the game that we totally suck but still love.
What do you think, John? You're the only one with. That's what I'm putting my vote on. So
I would
let's-
say that I agree. I just haven't put the time into Street Fighter, so because actually I'm so afraid of it that I just don't even.
Well, then I think that's a valid vote.
Yeah, I think that counts as a vote.
Okay. So yes, the best game that we totally suck at for 2010 is Super Street Fighter.
But we still love it.
I love the game.
Great game.
Every time I open up the cabinet to grab another game, I look at the stick sitting there and think of the money that I spent to retrofit that. I'm like, oh, I should.
Oh,
play
I
that.
do want to say, I predict my vote for next year for the same category will be
Marvel
Mortal
versus Capcom.
that or Mortal Kombat.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
I'm really interested in Mortal Kombat,
Yeah, that looks good.
but Marvel. It's going to be a tight race between those two.
Awesome. All right, next category is going to be the best game, best in big quotes, best game that we regretted purchasing in 2010. I'm actually interested with John's answer because I'm confused by it. So, John, what is your best game that you regret purchasing in 2010?
Well, I put that. I put any game that I had ever bought for 360. It kind of was a joke because my 360 just collected dust, and the few games that I bought, I opened, played for 5 minutes, and then it was sort of like,
Okay.
you know, because a lot of them were shooters, and we already covered that. And but if you talk about a game that I actually like really bought and regretted it so much that I was just
like you
would
thought
be-
something along the lines of like what you thought would probably be good, and then were like totally disappointed by.
I would say Star Wars Force Unleashed 2 as well.
Okay.
And I
Did you
I
buy
was
that
so-
game?
I bought it. I was so disappointed by it that I returned it. Yeah.
And see that is my answer for the year was Force
Okay.
Unleashed 2.
And we've heard Steve's, like,
Yeah.
if you go back to listen to previous podcasts, but I don't think you've really talked about it, John. So what were your thoughts on that game?
Well, the very small bit of the game that was there was fun, was tedious. It's sort of similar to my review, or half-assed talking about, of Kane and Lynch 2, except that I actually enjoyed Kane and Lynch 2.
Oh shit.
When you paid $5 for Kane Lynch 2.
Yeah. I actually enjoyed Kane and Lynch 2. Star Wars
So
Force Unleashed, I felt like they were just kind of forcing you to just do random shit. Like,
Forcing.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, you see what they did there? So, what do you, because I enjoyed Kane and Lynch 2 over
No.
Star Wars Force Unleashed 2, or what?
Well, no, I'm just saying the you
Well-
paid you bought Canon's 2 on a Super Steam sale, right?
Right, it was $5, which is fine.
Right.
And
So what'd you pay? What'd you pay for Force Unleashed 2?
Well, it was the oh shit, it was the what do you call it, $60 or 70? Because I had gotten the
60.
collector's edition originally. I don't remember. I don't even.
Did you?
I had. That's why I was like, yeah, fuck this, and I returned it because I realized that after taking it home for the afternoon, finishing it, I went back the same day, and I was just like, yeah, it doesn't work.
Did you just go like throw it on the counter? Like, fuck this.
I neglected to say that I actually finished the game already that day that I had previously bought it. Wow, that was so bad.
That is such a bummer because I love the first one and the promise of, like, even hearing that they said there was going to be a third one, but it was pretty immediately canceled after this one came out. And how well the first one melded into the, like, everyone said the story was the best part of the first one. God, that sucks because that series had such potential.
Jason, what was yours?
Well, mine was Brunswick Pro Bowling, which which really doesn't compare to these other. Force Unleashed 2, but I was very interested in the move with
right.
With bowling, yeah. It's a
Yeah.
shame that they didn't get the programming down right for that.
Yeah, so I got that, and I got high velocity bowling. I got that and Pro Brunswick Bowling, and they both sucked. It's completely bullshit because you would expect the move to have a lot of fidelity with picking up movement, and the bowling was so bad in both those games, and I was really, really disappointed because the main thing is that when I got the Wii, and I remember bringing it home and Shannon was playing it, we were both playing the bowling, and we're like, how awesome would it be if you were to have something like this with a good online structure? So if you were to have a bowling and right there in the PlayStation Network, a good league, and like how awesome would that be? Like if you play with your friends and go on there, and the Wii just sucked. So when the move was announced, that was the things I was really, really pumped about, and getting Pro Bowling and the other high velocity bowling, and the accuracy was so terrible that I even had. I remember going onto the GameFAQ boards and posting about, okay, is this bowling game good? And people like send me a ton of invites, and I had to deny them all because God, the game was so bad. I remember going up and bowling, and like the Wii bowling is a million times better than what those games could pick up.
Oh, that's a shame.
Sucked. Yeah, and the biggest issue was when I got Connect and I got Connect Sports and they had the bowling on that. It doesn't even have anything in your hands, and you go bowl, and it was way more accurate than both these games were. So
Yeah, that's what surprised me when you talked about the Connect bowling, how accurate that was. I still can't even
Wrap your head around it.
Yeah.
It's so weird. Like the programming they did to that is such complete bullshit. Oh God, it really, really makes me mad how bad they fucked that up, because the technology in the move is so good and they just completely fucked it up, and it really pissed me off to like when I talk, I can't even recommend this shit to casual players because one of the most casual games would be bowling, and I can't recommend it to them on the move. So yeah.
That sucks.
Brunswick Pool Bowling versus Force Unleashed 2.
Well, hearing what you guys talked about and actually reading the first Force Unleashed book and playing the first game all the way through, and I think the biggest issue would be I did not buy Force Unleashed 2, so I'm going to have to side with you guys.
Dun dun dun.
Dun dun dun.
Do not buy this game.
Yeah.
Alright, next award is Best Game That You Wanted to Be Able to Experience Fresh All Over Again from the start. Because there's always that game like when you play through and then a month or two later after you're done, you hear somebody else that starts to play the game, and there's a little bit of jealousy that they're having that fresh experience, and this is for the category for that. This is the game that we wish we could just go back in time and experience fresh all over again. So, Jason and John, I think, are going to team up with me on this one. What do you got?
I got Mass Effect 2.
Yeah.
As did I.
Mm-hmm.
That story in that game, as I was going through it, it was so good. And as soon as I beat it, my first thought was, God, at some point I want to play this again. I don't want to go through right away because I don't want to ruin the experience, but that was such a good story.
Yeah.
It was great.
I can't disagree, but I am going to disagree because I put down Red Dead Redemption. And it's actually going to be a hard one to argue on, because the one thing that I was tempted to put Mass Effect 2 on there, but I think, and this is like the kicker with this, is that have either of you guys beaten Red Dead yet?
No, I'm pretty close, but I haven't beaten them.
No, but I've gotten so frustrated with that game that I watched a movie edited together of the game.
Yeah.
So I wish I could finish the game.
You saw the ending?
Yeah.
Okay. And I don't know if that changes your mind at all about like the game as a whole, but experiencing that ending.
No, because I don't want to experience the game because I suck at it.
That's the thing, but that's true. But
I don't want to experience dying and the renewed frustration.
Imagine another dimension in which you don't suck at that game.
No. Imagine another dimension where I could use fucking mouse and keyboard. That'd be okay.
On Red Dead Redemption, that would be awesome.
That's what I'm saying.
What the hell, Rockstar?
Just wait till it comes PC and Steam sale.
And a Steam sale the next year. Around the holidays for $5.
2012. Here we go.
But yeah, it's the experience the ending experience in Red Dead is what makes the whole game like
worth it.
Come full circle and be worth it to me. Like COME. If I had not finished it, I would easily be in the same boat. The only other exception is I might put Assassin's Creed 2 on there.
That's last year though.
Oh shit, that was. Yes.
How about Brotherhood? You guys finish Brotherhood?
I have not even played it yet.
No, I'm close, but no, we're not talking about that.
No.
You know, I was tempted to put down Fallout New Vegas, except that I'm still not done exploring that game, so I don't know. That doesn't even count.
Have you even finished? You have not actually finished a game yet?
What do you mean? Oh, yeah, I finished
okay.
1.5 playthroughs.
Well, I mean, that would count then.
I mean, I don't know. I don't feel like it. Well, I guess maybe. Well, in any case, I still would rather have Mass Effect 2 because it has a better story, and it keeps me like, you know, like I got through Mass Effect 2 as a result of the story.
See, I think that's where I'm going to side with you guys on again with Mass Effect rather than Red Dead, is because Mass Effect I couldn't put down until I was done.
Exactly.
There was a point in Red Dead where I had to stop playing for a few weeks.
Yeah.
Mexico.
God, it was. Well, yeah, the whole Mexico thing was pretty serious. But
What was crazy about Mexico was, though, is that I had stopped playing in Mexico, and I kind of wish I would have kept going a little bit, because when I eventually came back to the game, I was like one mission away from being done.
Oh. and that was, yeah. It was like,
yeah, I came back and I was like, okay, I gotta get through the Mexico stuff, just push through, and then get on to the last act and just finish out this game. I was like, just kept on like trying to work myself up. Okay, I can do this, and then I get back, and then like in an hour, I'm done with Mexico. I'm like, oh shit, I wish I would have just fucking did this before.
That's funny.
Yeah, but I don't know.
But with Mass Effect 2, I could not stop until it was over.
Yeah, same here. I did both endings. I did good and evil, and I just couldn't stop.
Yeah, I cannot disagree with that point, because I was the same way, and I've even been recently thinking about playing it again, and especially because it's come up in the news that the PlayStation 3 version that is going to come out, I don't even remember when the date is of that actually dropping.
It's this Tuesday.
Is it?
Yep.
Yeah, 21st.
Well, the PlayStation 3 version of that is getting the Mass Effect 3 engine.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
just gonna do the demo. I think I don't want to really rebuy the game, but
That's what I'm wondering. I'm gonna
Yeah,
at least
well,
want to check that
I'm
out.
not gonna rebuy it. But John, did you do the? I know you did a lot of the DLC. Did you do the Shadow of the? What was it? The
Shadow Broker.
yeah,
they're the Shadow Broker. That's the only one I haven't redone yet.
Oh, I heard
And,
that.
and
like, the best.
especially since I just reformatted my computer, I got to reinstall Mass Effect and actually go through and
I've not done any of the DLC.
Me neither,
Oh,
because
man.
I wanted to build up to Mass Effect 3, which is coming out next fall. Yay!
Well, the DLC altogether is really good, but I haven't done Lair of the Shadow Broker yet, and I've heard so many people say that it's the best one. So I'm kind of waiting now. Now I'm like, okay, well, I could just wait, like you said, and wait until Mass Effect 3 has like, a couple months away, and then I could like go through it again,
Yep.
Cool.
So are we calling best game that you want to be able to experience fresh all over again? Mass Effect 2?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to. I'll side with you on that one pretty easily.
And we will at a later date.
Yeah.
Oh,
True.
absolutely. Yeah, that's the best testimony. I'm totally gonna play that again.
Yep.
And okay, if you want, just real quickly, if you want to see the best game trailer ever in my experience, Mass Effect 2 launch trailer, best trailer ever.
That was good.
I love that trailer. I still go watch that again and get chills from it.
I'm digging the new one too.
Oh, the Mass Effect 3 trailer?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's a great trailer.
Yeah, I saw that and I was like, damn it, why is there not more trailer than that?
Why you gotta look so badass, Shepard? Well, think about all those people out there that played the female Shepard, though. They're like, no, it's a female. It's not a man."
Did you guys see the machinima? Like, it's not actually part of the game. The machinima female with the Ithorian love scene.
Yes.
That was so.
That was great. That was good.
Oh my god.
All right. Next category is most bestest bang for your buck. So what game that came out in 2010 that you feel is the most bang for your gaming dollar? Jason, let's start with you.
Magic the Gathering. I mean, that was what, $15?
Well,
No,
I
was
think
it 10?
officially it's 15.
I think it was 10.
But when you pre-ordered it was like $10.
Yeah, I bought it for 10. I mean, God, I really, really like the game, and I think the biggest testimony of that game that I can give is my brother has had a Magic the Gathering collection before, and I told him about that game, and we played against each other, and we both got our decks together. I bought some decks, and like when we were on vacation in the summer, we were playing against each other, and something that cost me $10 and it actually translated to real world type shit.
Mm-hmm.
I give that a lot of credence. So, I mean,
Yeah.
that was really, really cool. And then Shannon was getting into like the real world type stuff. My brother-in-law was playing it. And then I was actually playing the actual computer game against you, Steve, and some other people. I mean, that was a ton of value
Yeah.
in that game. So that's my vote.
It's a damn. I had that on the list initially. I couldn't think of one for a while when we were making up the list. I could not think of something that was better than that for my dollar. But then Minecraft came along, and that's what I ended up putting down on the list because it's something that I don't play as much as a lot of people. But it's something that like I will still pop into. It's actually the game that I typically play while I edit this podcast because I can easily just bust out of the window and then edit something if I hear something wrong. It's nice to pick up and just keep working on your little world.
Yeah.
I still have to this day have not done any like the server stuff. But there's something about that still doesn't interest me. But doing the single player, just explore and create it's like I've got my little Lego box all over again. Except for this time, I'm not pissing off my mom by leaving them out, and so she steps on them. So.
And that's like that's coming up to a big price hike pretty soon, right?
I think
In
like,
2 more days.
Yeah, I was about to say like either today or like in a couple of days. It was you had to pay into the alpha, which is like €10 or whatever. And if you didn't by that time, then the price is actually going to go up. and then like because I think it's going into beta or whatever.
Yeah, it's moving from alpha to beta.
Which is crazy that he's charging you for an alpha, but he can do that because it's working.
$10 million working.
Yeah, exactly.
He's got a game that
Everyone wants.
Yeah, playing enough to where it warrants a price.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
I'm sure at first it was free source, then he was like, wait, a lot of people are playing this.
I can make money?
But yeah, it's fantastic. But John, I believe you might have the same answer.
Minecraft, yeah. That's one of those games that I had seen ages and ages ago, probably mentioned it at some point, and you guys, you know how like...
No,
me,
you didn't.
Like, no, I'm saying, like, you know how sometimes when I mention something, you guys are like, you're stupid. You know, like STO, for example. Like STO, for example, originally when I was like, yeah, I got the STO, whatever, you guys are like, I don't know why.
Star Trek Online.
Yeah,
Nerds.
Star Trek. That'll work. You're so dumb for buying Star Trek Online, John. And stuff like that. I don't really care. I'm just like, whatever. I enjoy it. And I think that's like same thing. Like I had mentioned Minecraft. I didn't actually play it yet. And then you guys were like, it probably sucks. And I was like, yeah, you're probably right. And then like a year later, I was like, oh, Minecraft. What's this? $10? Okay. It's like I had gotten in on the free weekend and spent like the entire weekend playing it for free. And then I was like, oh, dang. And when his servers came back up to charge people with the accounts and everything, I was like, let's see. I just spent 20 hours playing it. I think it might be worth $10.
Yeah, exactly.
So, or $13 or whatever it was.
So, Magic the Gathering versus Minecraft.
I think when I look at those two, I think about talking to Shannon about, she's seen me play Magic the Gathering and she's seen me play Minecraft, and when I talked about buying Minecraft for her, she told me no, because she is so into crafting and things that she's worried that
she'll get stuck in that game.
Yeah, she'll completely sucked up. So I am going to have to throw the bone to Minecraft, and I'm going to side with you guys.
All right. There's no heated debates on the show.
You know what I would say actually for myself is that the reason I would never ever say Magic the Gathering for best bang for the buck is because I'm afraid to start those card games because I want to have all the booster packs and I want to have all the cards and stuff like that.
But that's
so I'm afraid that I would buy all of them. But
that's the nice thing about Magic the Gathering. This version of it, you don't buy boosters or anything.
Right, I'm just saying, like, as an actual card game itself.
Oh, you're saying you would go out and start buying the actual cards and shit?
Like, I'm afraid that I would get so into it that I'd start buying the cards and...
Oh, okay.
Well, I did that. I mean, I've been buying shit like crazy. And I remember when I bought some shit, my brother had his collection, and then he went to play me, and I just destroyed him. And he got so pissed because he hadn't bought shit in forever. So, I know. I mean,
Magic the Gathering, buy shit to win.
Well, Magic the Gathering then translates differently because, like, it's an actual thing. But if you're looking at video games, Minecraft is, like, way more... I mean, you do get a lot more bang for your buck with that.
It seems like you can easily soak a lot more time into it than
for less
in Magic.
money overall.
Right. And just like, John, you said... Magic the Gathering, you kind of just go right to the viewpoint of I'm gonna go buy actual things. So
yeah, like for me, that would make me end up spending more money on stuff. Yeah. So I'm just like,
right.
I don't even want to. I don't want to get the Steam, even on the Steam sale when it was like $7. I was like, no, don't do it. Don't.
Right. So if we had a category that biggest game that makes you go buy physical shit, it'd probably be Magic the Gathering.
Magic the Gathering. Yeah, it would have been.
Because I did. I went and bought a lot of shit.
Yeah.
I have a pretty kick-ass card deck.
Nice.
Yeah.
What? All right. Well, yeah, most bang for your buck game of 2010 is Minecraft. Next category before we get into the for reals categories is the best. This might as well be a for real category. Is the best game that we never finished.
Because this is a regular theme for multiplayers, really. When you really think about it,
this should be a weekly winning. Like every week we do the show, we should have this category. But yeah,
so
best game.
What didn't you finish this week, John?
Yeah. But Yeah, best game that we never finished. You two are in cahoots. If you couldn't tell from the previous categories, what you got?
Red Dead?
Red Dead
Redemption.
Redemption. Oh, look how you did that. That's so cute.
I feel bad because I'm gonna finish it.
No, you're not.
I have a
I
feeling.
am. I'm pretty close.
I have a feeling that I won't since I've already seen all this stuff
Yeah.
now, and so that'll forever probably
yeah,
stay in
well-
the category. But
I've been playing it off and on the last couple of months, and I'm really close. I think. I don't know, but
What's the last thing you did?
I'm in Mexico, which I know there's a whole part.
You're not close.
All right, yeah, I'm still in Mexico,
If you're still in Mexico, you're not really that close.
but I do love that game. I've been like doing things where in the missions I take back parts of Mexico, and I just
Yeah.
actually the last part I did was I was there was this girl who her family was getting assaulted, and I had to escort her out, and
Oh, yeah.
I was helping her. Every part of it's really, really, really good, and I'm gonna keep playing it, but I don't have the natural desire to go back to it over and over and over. Like, and the biggest
There's
issue
almost
with
like
that,
a barrier of entry.
yeah, and then that issue is I play it and I enjoy it, and then I have a hard time coming back to it, and then I come back to it a couple months later, and I have to relearn the controls, which really, really sucks.
I will say when I took that short, like 3-4 week break after I had almost completed Mexico, when I went back, it did take me a little bit to actually get used to the controls again. It's one of the best and worst things about that game is because you do so much. They mapped so much stuff into the controls as it was, and like I said earlier, I don't know if they could have really made it any more intuitive than they did. So I think they did a good job with it, but there was just so much that you had to remember of how to do, and I don't know, it became kind of a mess. But yeah, it's an amazing game, and I wish you guys would actually finish it. Cheater, John.
I'm gonna finish it, but John's not gonna. He watched all this shit. And that's the part I refuse to watch the end of it.
Yeah.
Because I really, really do like that. I love the character of John Marston, even though it's a little weird how he. Okay, but I'm the good guy, but I'm gonna still kill everybody. But I really do like his nonchalant type of character.
The one thing I will say that it kind of got old with in that game was the fact that he would continuously do things. He was like everybody's bitch, and he was like he'd do, even though he was like this badass guy and he could kill anybody that he wanted to, as long as you know how to play a third-person shooter. He was like just so at the whim of everybody else, and it kind of got old. It was very repetitively done, but it was, I don't know. There was still a good build up there to what happened at the end.
I'm still pretty badass, and I got a scar on my mouth, but I'll suck your dick if you needed it.
I'm not gonna like it, but I'll do it.
But
Whatever.
I'm gonna do it because I want to get back to my family.
And my abusive wife. The game that I chose for the category of best game I never finished was unfortunately Fallout New Vegas. I'm still not done with that game. I have not gone back to it since I got to Vegas, and I don't know why. But it's, I think, potentially the game that I am going to regret not just going through and finishing. Because it is an amazing game, and I don't know why I haven't gone back. So for 2010, best game that we never finished, it's kind of... I'm going to have to actually throw this one at Red Dead because I know how awesome the ending is, and even though I want to say Fallout because it wasn't what I finished, I know how great Red Dead is, so I will say, yeah, if you guys have not finished Red Dead yet, you're missing out. So, yeah, officially best game that you never finished was Red Dead. Alright, now it's time to get into more of the, I guess, what the traditional award categories, starting with Best Handheld Game. John's going to be out on this one, but he can definitely, he might actually be the one to call which one of the two games he would rather play, thus making it the Multiplaying Best Handheld Game of the Year, because Jason and I have totally different answers on this one. Let's go through Jason's real quick first. What is your best handheld game of 2010?
I have Dev Story and Mario and Luigi's Bowser's Inside Story, which very, very different games.
See, and I've played Dev Story, and
Yeah.
I've gotten to the point of got that Game of the Year award, and thus quit the game pretty much. But I'd never played Mario and Luigi's Bowser's Inside Story. And it was actually one that I'd considered picking up rather than what actually is my handheld game of the year, which is Dragon Quest IX, which is a game I haven't beaten yet. I'm probably nowhere near beating it yet, but it's just a great little Japanese RPG. But like, quick synopsis and why you think Mario and Luigi should be on there.
Did you play any of Paper Mario?
Yeah, on the Wii, yeah.
Yeah, basically the same type of thing. It's
okay.
It's pretty humorous story with the combat. I really like in this because it's pretty reactive. I mean, you have the guys coming at you, and you have to hit the proper buttons and things back. And the story is really, really cool. I really like the story of Mario and Luigi, where it's a nice switch off to where you're in Bowser's body and you're in Mario and Luigi, and then you switch out to Bowser, where he's like, you actually see what you're doing have an effect on his body, which is really, really cool. But I think the biggest thing that I'm torn about this is I had a lot of fun with this game, and I had a lot of fun in Dev Story, but God, Dev Story cost a couple bucks versus
$5, yeah.
versus 30 or 40 bucks of Mario and Luigi. And I'm going to have to say that Dev Story probably, with that in mind, is probably my lead here.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. I mean, we've talked about this game before with Dean and you and I playing it.
It's way more hilarious to talk about.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's more inside and more everything. But like when I think about price point, I really can't compare the two.
Right.
And I don't know if that's a sad thing to talk about the handheld market going forward. But I mean, I think that's going to be my game of the year.
It's definitely something to consider, especially since like next year we're supposed to be seeing the 3DS, and that's actually got a concern in my eye because I wonder if there's going to be like a price hike with the games on that, because rumor is now that it's going to be $300. Whether it actually does come out at $300 or not in the States is still an unknown. But there is like this worry in my eye. I mean, that's potentially at least $250 probably, but $300 for a little handheld device, just for gaming. I mean, sure, you could probably stretch it to be able to be used for other things, but just for gaming. So that has me questions like, okay, are games gonna be like $50 on this thing or $40 on it? I mean,
that's the scary part, because
the games are already like $35 new.
Well, some of them are 40, right?
Maybe, yeah. There could. I'm not sure. I don't think I ever have bought one for that much because that seems crazy to me. But and again, I have to put the caveat on there that I am not a huge handheld fan. But yeah, the thought of spending that much on a handheld game just seems kind of crazy to me. So that is something that I do think is a good consideration to have. And with that, I'm probably going to just straight up agree with you. Dev Story, for the $5 that cost, I had a shitload of fun, and I honestly, I could not put that down.
Yeah,
I had a harder time putting that down than I did Dragon Quest.
Right. Yeah, and I mean that's the pretty crazy part, because you talked about you beat that game. Well, I don't want to say beat, but
I got the highest regard.
You got the highest point. Like, your games were making so much money, and like, How many hours do you think you put into that before you got to that point?
It's a scary thought. I don't know. Because I was like playing it at lunch and break at work, and I typically don't play any games or anything at work at all. But like on my lunch, I'd actually take it to the break room with me and sit there and play it. And it was just people would start asking me about it, and that was another thing that was cool about it. Is like people would ask me about it, and then I'd start telling them that I had my game of the year was Biggins 2, and like telling them all these crazy names for my games. And it was a great conversation piece, and they thought it was actually pretty cool. So yeah, I'm gonna straight up agree with you on this one. Dev Story, if that's game of the year, or best handheld of the year.
All right.
Oh right. So John, what do you think about that?
Well, of all the handheld games or what have you that I have heard about and heard you guys talk about, Dev Story seems the most interesting to me. So
Yeah.
I'm just gonna have to go with that as well.
All right. So we have a winner on that. So next category is best console game. We kind of lumped all these together. We didn't split them up by 360 or PS3, primarily because a couple of us don't even have a 360 yet, but also because the games that we would probably consider in this category on either one, I don't think any of them would have been console specific. So in the next like upcoming years, if we could continue to do the award show, if we see the need to split up the category by console, we will. But I don't think it's a necessary thing. So best console game for 2010. It's pretty much unanimous. We all put Red Dead Redemption.
Right.
Only thing I wanted to question with this though was for Jason's. Like, is there any reconsideration of
Yes.
like brother?
Yes.
Is there Brotherhood?
Yeah, Brotherhood. That's I was about to delete this in the notes. It's so hard because I haven't beat Red Dead, and I'm barreling towards the end of Brotherhood, and I am enjoying Brotherhood a lot more than Red Dead. But I can't call either one because I haven't beaten either one. But
Well, I mean, but if you were gonna put Red Dead on there before, I think it's just as easily, easy for you to put Brotherhood on there. I mean, I think how many games that we play that we don't finish. So I mean,
True.
we're not pros at this. We're just regular Joes. So
I would replace Red Dead with Brotherhood for my personal vote.
I'd say that's gonna be a hard one to decide on because I haven't played Brotherhood yet.
Yeah. It's tough. Oh God.
I haven't played it. I watched it.
Yeah, you dick.
Okay.
Well,
So, your opinion may be valuable here. So, like you watched the everything for Red Dead, and you've played some of. I mean, you watched stuff for Brotherhood, and you played a little bit of Red Dead. What are your thoughts?
which one, if you were to choose like right now, okay, I'm going to go play and beat this game, which one is it going to be?
Assassin's Brotherhood.
Really?
Yeah.
But you
Only
said that
because
you suck at shooters.
yeah, but Assassin's not a shooter.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Is because you said you suck at shooters, that's why you're not choosing Red Dead.
But let's say if they're both on PC,
Mm-hmm.
mouse and keyboard for both,
Mm-hmm.
I still feel like I would probably play Assassin's Creed Brotherhood more. At
Really?
the same time, I feel like not Brotherhood, Red Dead had a better ending because to me, Brotherhood felt like it's another WTF. Like they're doing it again. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Just like they've done with all the other Assassin's Creed. So I feel like, okay, yeah. It's every single game's gonna end with a what the fuck. All right, cool. But the gameplay itself, I think I would enjoy more in Brotherhood.
Okay.
God, Brotherhood is so good.
See, and I can't really argue it because I haven't played the game, but I want to so bad.
Well, I haven't played Brotherhood either, but
Damn.
It is so good. But Red Dead is so good.
But it's the same thing. Kind of like what we got with earlier between Red Dead and Mass Effect 2 is that you guys wanted to experience Mass Effect 2 over again rather than Red Dead. for the fact that it was more of a solid story, and I totally sided with you on that. I think I kind of have to use the same thought pattern with this, is that you would both rather play through Brotherhood before Redemption,
Well,
because it's a more quick and solid story.
right. Yeah, let me say, I mean, I'm towards the end of Brotherhood, and I'm probably in the middle of Red Dead. As I'm playing Brotherhood, I am thinking I want to play this again. I want to go through this again, so...
I'm fine with giving it to with Brotherhood then.
Are you, John?
Yeah, I'm good with that. Like I said, I haven't played it, but what I've seen of the story and the actual gameplay is more intriguing to me. So yeah.
All right.
And well, you have played some of the multiplayer, Steve.
Yes, that's true. That's the one thing that I will.
That is so good.
I tip my hat to that so much, because, like we've said it a bunch of times on the podcast already, that it is doing something different. It is amazing because it is a different approach to a multiplayer, like PvP style game. It is an amazing experience. That's a big reason why I want that game. And there was actually a big reason why I wanted the game even before I knew that it had the storyline, the single-player storyline in it. So, yeah, I have to give it to that. So, yeah, AC Brotherhood is the console game of 2010 for multiplaying. So,
Holy shit.
holy shit.
This thing is rigged.
Yeah, the next one is, it's not going to be a long discussion. Best PC game of the year, and take into consideration the people that are listening to this, if you're still listening to the show at this point, that
We're sorry.
we're horribly sorry. Why are you doing this to yourself? PC game of the year, not really counting MMOs, because that's actually going to be one of our last category, actually. But yes, PC game of the year. Anybody else other than me want to say it?
Mass
Go
Effect
ahead.
2?
Mass
Yeah.
Effect 2.
That's it.
If we would have played that on the console, that would have totally brought the categories into this new weird thing. But since we're primarily PC people, we all played it on the PC. That's our PC game of the year. That is a fucking amazing game. I cannot wait for the next one. I'm with what you guys were saying earlier. I want to go in and play all the DLC at some point between now and when the next one comes out. And yeah, it's just a phenomenal game. Really gets me in the mood to play, well, to do other things, but really gets me in the mood to just be in that sci-fi world. It's just, I like all genres of fantasy, sci-fi, and everything, but that's, as far as sci-fi goes, that is way up there on my list of, like, the best realized universes.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, just like the background things that they put in that game universe is incredible.
Yeah. There's a lot of forethought in that, so.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
insane.
PC Game of the Year for Multiplaying is Mass Effect 2. So,
You're welcome.
yes, we'll be sending you a copy of your game.
All right.
Our second to last category for the evening or morning, if you're listening to this in the morning, best game of the year.
Across all platforms.
Across all platforms, sans MMOs. Game of the year. Let's start with John. John, what was your game of the year for 2010?
I'm torn between Mass Effect 2, which we've already talked about, and Fallout Vegas, because I feel like I've spent more time in Fallout Vegas than any other RPG, probably besides Oblivion. Or maybe some of the old like Baldur's Gate and stuff like that, like Icewind Dale, Neverwinter Nights. I feel like I spent more hours in Fallout New Vegas and enjoyed the world, like exploring and stuff like that in Fallout Vegas more. But the story in Mass Effect 2, as we've said, is just there's no words.
Ridiculous. Yeah, it's so good.
There's just no words for it. It's just, you just can't like we said, you just can't fucking stop playing it until it's done.
Yeah.
And then when it's done, you're just like, no.
But Jason, what was yours?
My initial one was Mass Effect 2, which as soon as I beat it, I thought about top games ever, and I was ranking that at probably number 1. Then Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, I've really, as I've been playing it, I've been thinking, God, this is one of the best games ever made.
Really?
Yeah, it's so hard to compare the two because I haven't
They're
beaten
completely
Brotherhood.
different.
Yeah, I mean they're so different. Mass Effect 2. Mass Effect. I've read a couple of the books. I've really been into the lore, and I think it's the one of the first games that when I'm playing it and I'm seeing things like literature that you can read, I'm actually reading every little bit that I can get to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Brotherhood, I'm enjoying all the gameplay, but Mass Effect, I'm enjoying the gameplay and the universe. And I think I'm gonna have to go with Mass Effect.
Okay.
Yeah.
My game of the year, if you couldn't already tell by this point, is Red Dead Redemption. And it's going to be, again, like previous categories, it's going to be kind of hard to defend against like Mass Effect 2 because of or even like AC Brotherhood because of the solid storyline throughout. But the end, it's a game I put down, yes, but the ending of the game, the whole last probably half hour to an hour of that game was so amazing, and how everything was coming back full circle from everything that you had done as side questing stuff aside, how all the story point stuff kind of built up to this. It was a slow burn. It was a very slow burn, and I still think that they could have cut a lot of stuff out and made it an even better game. Because just for the fact that I think if they would have cut a lot of the stuff out, you guys would have beat it, and I think your answers would be different.
I could agree with that, actually.
Because I truly, and again, this is again a personal, but I really truly feel that the way that game ends is so amazing. It's probably that will never leave me. The way that game ends will never leave me.
I don't want you to give spoilers, but I've heard a lot of people say the ending of that game is phenomenal. But I mean, like, is it a twist, or is it like a conclusion to a character arc? Like, what is so great about that ending without giving spoilers?
Kind of both.
Yeah.
It's kind of a twist, and it's an end to a character arc that it's unexpected. It's with as much stuff as droned into throughout the game. It's amazing how unexpected the ending is. And how, God, I just don't want to spoil the fucking game. But
well, I don't want you to spoil it. I mean, because I'm definitely open to this because, I mean, when you think about how great this year was for games, it really was great. Cause
even considering how just sequel heavy it was.
Yeah. And finishing Mass Effect 2, God, I mean, as soon as I beat it, I was like, that's like my top one game ever. Mm-hmm. And then the more I play Red Dead, I'm not going to rule out that, I mean, that's like right up there.
Because, like, okay, put it this way, like, the ending in Mass Effect 2 was like fist pump moment. It was like,
yeah,
fuck yes, awesome moment. The ending in Red Dead Redemption was jaw drop.
But how, I mean, like, was it like closure? Was it?
It.
There is and there isn't, and it twists it, and it takes the closure and then twists it up and.
Well, okay, put it this way. There is like, it's so hard to talk about with not just being totally open about it, but there is, it goes back and forth. There is closure for a little bit, and then there is a jaw drop, and then there is emotions, and then there is closure again. and it all happens within like an hour or so. And just that last roller coaster, there was so much build up to this last hour of the game that became such this emotional roller coaster for you personally because you are playing this character that it was just amazing. And it's hard to tell you without telling you, but it is, you don't expect it.
Well, okay, let me ask you, because you've beaten. I mean, you're the best person to answer this question because you've beaten both these games.
Mm-hmm.
The lead up to Mass Effect 2 is so character driven, and then what I'm assuming, Red Dead is the John Marston character, which is a great character. Like you have this one character driven moment versus the lead up in these other characters to Mass Effect. Which did you feel was the most satisfying conclusion in that story?
As far as a character, that's a hard question.
Because Mass Effect really is a character story, and
Yeah,
well,
but it's
Red,
yeah,
Red
but it
Dead
is
too. Red Dead is as well.
the story of Marston, and again, this is primarily based, for me, this is primarily based in the end of the game. The character story in that, I personally feel really outweighs Shepard's.
Really,
But, yes. But if you consider that the character story in Mass Effect is not just Shepard's, but it is also
Everyone
all of these
else.
other characters that you are interacting with, that's a really, really hard call.
right? 'Cause, I mean, think of how good the characters were in Mass Effect 2.
Yeah,
God.
that's what really, really is a hard call, because if you're just comparing Shepard to Marston and what happened at the ends in both of those games, or just the whole story arc with them, Marston's singular character was a much more. I would watch, if they would condense it, I would watch a movie of Red Dead.
Really,
And I would think that a movie of Shepard's story in a Mass Effect movie would be far more campy.
I agree with Steve because I actually did watch a movie of Red Dead. And it was fucking awesome.
I'm talking like, I don't know.
An actual movie. I know.
Right? Yeah, well, no. I'm trying to like come up with a comparison, like, but I can't. So it's a hard call, because I truly do feel that Mass Effect 2. I have to agree that Mass Effect 2 was a more solid story because, like what we brought up earlier, I couldn't put Mass Effect 2 down until I was done. I had to put Red Dead down because I was getting
tired.
It was becoming very redundant.
okay,
So
okay.
that's the very, very hard part of the equation.
Okay, well then, thinking about the two different stories, and you're looking at the characters, you guys would rather see Marston do what he did versus seeing Shepard, Mordin, Miranda, all of them do what they did. You would rather watch or experience again the...
Okay. Okay, like, Mass Effect 2 has me very excited for Mass Effect 3. Have you seen the movie Castaway?
Yeah.
How many times have you watched Castaway?
I watched probably like 4 or 5 times.
The first time you watched that was probably the best time, right?
But yeah, it was the first time I was on a date with Shannon.
Well, okay, well, that's super meaningful then, but
Yeah.
as far as the movie itself, or even like Saving Private Ryan, like, the emotion in the movie the first time you see it is so amazing and like heavy,
Yeah.
but then like every time you see it after that, it's not so much. And
Yeah.
that's kind of what I get with Red Dead. Like,
Really?
there's-
God, because I got that emotion from Mass Effect, but again, I haven't beaten Red
no,
Dead yet.
What I'm saying
Like, is that all the ending of Red Dead? Like that you're
Yeah.
basing that on?
yes.
It's like the whole last part of the game.
Okay,
That's
then
it.
my question would be, like, is it so ending heavy that, I mean,
That's my problem with it, is that I think that's what's kind of keeping me leaning towards what you guys are saying with Mass Effect, that as far as the game as a whole, I think the way that it completed in Red Dead made the game for me. But as a game as a whole,
Yeah.
I think
Well,
Mass Effect is probably a better game.
did you
yeah.
what did you guys all watch Inception, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
okay. Well, when you were watching Inception the first time through, did you forget that they were on the plane?
No.
There were moments where there was a lot. I will honestly say there was a lot of moments that I wouldn't say that I forgot that they were on the plane, but that wasn't going on in my head. I was too enthralled with what they were doing rather than all of the previous steps. There was parts where I put that out of my thought process, but I wouldn't say like I would have forgot they were on the plane. Like
Yeah.
when they came back around, they woke up on the plane. It's not like I wasn't expecting that, because by that time I had thought back to what had happened previously and said, "Oh, they're going to be on the plane."
Yeah, you're like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Like, I feel like Red Dead sort of has that. I don't know. I don't know if it's a good example, but that where you're watching a movie and you're like, I'm not really sure what's going on. It's kind of good. You're enjoying it, and then that last like 20, 30 minutes, that's when you walk out of the theater. You're just like, holy fuck, I gotta watch that again. Like,
Yeah.
But
It's not so
John,
much.
yeah. Go ahead.
It's not so much I want to watch. That's the other point that I guess I was trying to make, is that I can go back and play Mass Effect 2, no problem. I can go pick it up. It was a fantastic game. It was a solid experience. I can go play it again and remember what happened. If they were to make another Red Dead to follow up, there's no way in hell I'll go back and play Red Dead Redemption again.
Well, I mean, is that thing that Mass Effect is more of a... I mean, that's not a bad thing, but it's more of a character-driven... Like, that's his story. That's Marston's story. And
Yeah, I know it. It's ingrained in my head. I don't need to go back and revisit it.
Right.
It's not to say that I even have to revisit Mass Effect, but if I wanted a refresher because there was so much depth to that, I could easily go back and do that. I have no problem with doing it.
God, it's so tough because I'm really, really enjoying Red Dead. But playing Mass Effect, there were so many times I was like just wrapped up in the characters and like Orden and different characters. Like, God.
And you gotta say, there are some damn interesting characters in Red Dead too.
There are, yeah.
You get to meet some interestingly crafted characters in the game, and a lot of, yeah. But there's a lot of side moments that can become distracting in Red Dead. I guess that's like I said earlier, the part of the equation that is against Red Dead is that it wasn't just a solid game.
Well, and okay, when you're all talking about that, that's kind of what jumps out at me because I enjoyed Red Dead and the whole thing. Like I was playing it pretty hardcore, and then the whole enter Mexico and that whole mission was great, and then the game lost a lot of steam. And I guess what I'm struggling with was Mass Effect 2 never did that. It never lost steam.
Right.
Like I played it. I remember, John, I remember talking to you. I remember talking to you on the phone and texting you, everything. There was never a moment where I lost steam. And that's what I'm struggling with, is Red Dead may have been great. I'm really enjoying it, and I'm going to beat it. But Mass Effect 2, I never had to get past a part.
Right.
And that's what I'm really struggling
you were
with.
always running forward to jump on the next part.
Yeah, like, okay, Game of the Year, I never had to, like, okay, get through this part and it'll be great. Like, no, the whole part of that game was great.
I think that's what's going to hand this to Mass Effect. As I think that Red Dead, even for me, who I fight to say that, yeah, it's still my game. It's my personal game of the year, even though we might say something else is. But I will give a nod to Mass Effect that, yeah, I even had to put Red Dead down for some time, and I never had to do that with Mass Effect. So I think we just need to say Mass Effect.
Well, yeah, I mean, I haven't beat Red Dead, but it took you a long time to beat Red Dead, and like, yeah, we had to go back and beat it. Like, there were parts like, okay, yeah, this part's kind of whatever. I don't know.
I'm still doing shit for other people. Why am I still
Yeah.
doing shit for other people? Yeah, there is that qualm with it. It's kind of going with your end heavy comment. It is there's a certain build up that you have to appreciate that end. And I don't know if it's a dumb writing mechanic, if you want to, I don't know what you want to call that, but it really, everything that you do in the game and the amount of time that you pour into it makes that ending that much more meaningful.
Right. So we're basically talking about pacing. The pacing in
Yes.
Mass Effect 2 was so much better.
It was. So
Yeah.
I think with that given in there, Mass Effect 2 is our 2010 Game of the Year.
All
Yay,
right.
claps.
Woo!
We're gonna send BioWare a game of Mass Effect 2. Your copy of that.
We should just like make like a cheap ass medal, and then just mail it to the BioWare Studios and put it like Multiplaying's Game of the Year Award 2010.
It'll be a medal made out of Game Day bottle caps.
No, yes, Game Day bottle caps,
I got plenty of those.
or cereal boxes, or no,
Cereal box.
or paper mache.
We should like metal dip a Game Day bottle and put it on top of a trophy stand.
Or we could do it with macaroni.
Macaroni. Spell out Game of the Year with macaroni.
Yeah.
But
Gosh.
we're not done.
No.
We're not.
We're not done. This is a long podcast. We have one more, and it's maybe perhaps even more important than our Game of the Year award. It's actually our MMO of the Year. But
Which is impossible.
it is an impossible award. So what we're gonna do, at least this year, again, is actually just say what our personal MMO of the year is. But before we get to our personal three, I actually had people, if they wanted to, write in and tell us what their personal MMO of 2010 is. It does not have to be an MMO that came out in 2010. It's just whatever in this year you've played the most, and because we tend to have people listen to our show that are like us, that play various MMOs over time. It becomes interesting to see, okay, which ones stuck out to them, and we got a pretty good cross-section of MMOs with this. So we're going to start off with a guy named Brian, not the guy that's been on the show, but actually Blue K, or Blue Kai, not sure how you pronounce that, but it's bluekae.com is his blog, and his MMO of 2010 is Star Trek Online. And he wrote and he said, while Cryptic's had its share of difficulties, drama, and disappointments, I've been very impressed with their transparency via engineering reports, their communication through forums and podcasts, and most importantly, how quickly they've improved the game. Diplomacy, crafting revamps, featured episodes, and sector space. And he can't wait to see what Dan Stahl and his team manage in the next year. And I have to agree with him. That's actually, I look forward to what they do with that game. I just rejoined myself and am enjoying season 3. So that was Blue Kai's. We also got a quick one from I can't pronounce his name. Solvanern?
Yeah.
Solvanern?
Solvarnan.
Varnish?
Soul polish.
Soul Glow?
So just let your soul glow.
We need to auto-tune that. His personal MMO of 2010 is Guild Wars. Thanks. That's it. That's all he's got.
That's a hard one to argue. God.
I can't argue that. We also got an email in from Winnan. He said he also put a vote in for Star Trek Online because it's the only one that he's had an urge to subscribe after the first month, and keep on his computer. But besides that, there are a few other reasons he put that on. He says it has the best ship combat to him personally. Says that Eve is too spreadsheety and abstract. He also thought that the ground combat, was innovative. He likes to micromanage a small team. He also thought has the best stories. He loves the episodic content. Lots of stories that all fit within the universe. It doesn't tell an epic tale like a BioWare game, but in an MMO, he wants small stories that stand alone yet go together, like a TV show instead of a movie. And he says it's the best fit for his niche. He doesn't have time for epic raids or getting pugs together. He likes it because he can get in, have fun, and get out in short order. He thinks it's beautiful. The location, ships, effects, etc. look awesome, and it's the most Trek-like, which is because it's Star Trek. So, next up we have an email in from Coolit, who says his favorite MMO of the year is, hands down, Darkfall. First, let me clear up one thing about Darkfall. It is not filled with griefers. If you walk around alone with nice gear, you will most likely get attacked, and someone else will now own your nice gear. It can suck, but it adds an element of excitement and challenge. I normally know when I'm risking my gear, and I have about 5 ready bags filled with armor, regents, food, weapons, and a mount in my bank ready to go. I can make almost anything I wear, wield, and ride. I'm not a big fan of doing quests, and I don't see any satisfaction in PvP without a risk. A lot of MMOs have added conveniences like quick travel instances and even quest turn in on the fly. There's a market for people who want their adventure on rails, but I prefer the realism and freedom that Darkfall gives me. It's not all roses. They need to find a way to reduce the skill grind. The gap between a vet player and a noob is way too drastic. Well, thank you, Coolit. That sounds great. I tried out Darkfall, just not for me. I guess I want more rails.
No.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
But I can completely see why people play that game. It is very interesting.
You know, my only problem with Darkfall, is that I don't have the time to devote to it.
Yeah.
Like, that's my only issue.
Yeah, which isn't a bad thing.
No, it's just that I would absolutely be enveloped in Darkfall, but I just don't have the time.
Yep.
I just don't do it.
Next one we got from another guy from the forums. It's Destroyed, and he says it's got the best combat, the best graphics by far, and it doesn't require you to invest tons of time doing pointless tasks just to get the good stuff. He says, Global Agenda is my MMO of the year because it's pure fun 100% of the time, and it still leaves me with time to play some other awesome games too.
Yeah, no fee.
Yeah, exactly.
God, yeah.
So, yep, Global Agenda is Destroyed's choice. And a quick one from Dean. Says his vote is for EQ2X. Yup. That's
Figures.
Yeah.
Interestingly enough, nobody wrote in for World of Warcraft. I thought
Thank God.
Well, that's not a very popular game, Steve.
Oh, it's true. But I was very happy with the cross-section of games that we covered from the people that wrote in. So thank you very much, everybody that wrote in. But before we leave you, we're going to go through our personal MMOs of the year. Going to start with John. John, what is your MMO of 2010?
Well, I'd like to point out that I played just about every MMO out there this year.
You did.
Yeah, I probably...
Any game that costs money, he played it.
I mean, because I was looking for something, because I was getting pretty hyped about SATOR, and I'm still pretty excited, but I was trying to find something that would hold my attention. I was trying to different MMOs that everyone was playing at any given different time.
So Horizons.
Yeah. APB. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Craft. Didn't we beta test that? That was so terrible.
I just loaded the newest version on my computer. I'm gonna play that.
See, why wasn't that your game that you wish you never would have bought in 2010?
I never bought it. I never paid any money for
that's true.
Craft.
That's crazy. But yeah, what's your MMO of 2010?
So between everything I've played, I had to say Star Trek Online because overall that's the game that I just enjoyed the most for many of the reasons previously stated, actually. Just they kind of summed up pretty good. It's just you can get in and out. Beautiful game with the ship combat and the episodes, and it's
really coming along.
Yeah, it's
I,
coming
I,
along great, and every season and every major patch they put is actually making progress. Like
mhm.
that's the, it's like it actually makes progress, and for an MMO, for some reason, for an MMO to make progress is very strange. I don't know why that is, but it
Yeah.
just is.
I'm still excited for that game's future. I think it's just going to progressively get better.
My my other favorite about STO is that Shannon resents me for STO.
Oh, that's
And
right.
what is she?
Because as you guys know, I get made fun of a lot for all the games that I play because I play a lot of games, which is fine. I get that. I understand that I play a lot of shit. But I talked about STO and everyone was like, "Yeah, whatever, STO." And I was like, "Okay, well, whatever. I'll just play it myself." And all of a sudden, one of the what was it for like maybe a month or 2 months, like 10 to 12 people, not all at one time. We're all playing STO, and then we even got Shannon to install it. She had all this trouble with it. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, she
So
doesn't like you for that.
yeah, she resents me for making it for quote unquote making everyone love STO, and and all that stuff.
Okay, well, tell us, like, what do you enjoy about the game?
I mean, like I said, it's just what's all previously been stated with all the ease of play. The it helps that I'm a Star Trek nerd. I'm not like I don't know the histories and things, but
Right.
I've recently picked up watching the original series. And I'm trying to get a hold of just watching maybe through Netflix or something all the other series as well. And I don't know. It's just it really places you into the Star Trek world pretty efficiently, and you kind of feel like you are the captain of your ship with your little away team and stuff like that. And it's just fun. And
Cool.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's good.
What do you think, Steve?
Um, this was kind of a hard one, and it still is even kind of hard to say. But I originally I put on there like the best MMO that I played in the last 12 months was probably Dark Age of Camelot because I did technically play it in the last 12 months, and it is the best MMO I've ever played. Period. But that doesn't really count because I haven't put a lot of time into it this year.
That and it's
Uh,
not from this year.
well, no, it doesn't matter if it's from this
Yeah,
year.
it does.
I
Yeah.
know.
Well, I'm mostly like a living, breathing
Well,
thing.
I did
so-
play Dark Age of Camelot for a couple
Well, I
months.
did play Horizons.
But that was kind of uh, an instant no. But I had thought Star Trek Online because it was something that I did not expect to enjoy as much as I did, and like I said, I just recently started it back up again, and it's an amazing game. But I honestly, because of some changes to the game, and because I finally the game I probably put the most time into and enjoyed that time the most is going to be Warhammer. I was not expecting to get into it as much as I have this year because I hadn't really been into it very much. But like in September when I started it back up, I mean, consider it's middle of December now, and my account's still active. I'm still playing the game. It's I really like the changes that they've made, and I'm very excited for what could potentially come in the future. It's becoming more of what it should have been in the first place, and that is a PvP MMO.
Yeah.
And I'm enjoying what they've done. It's really good. So, and that's my game. That's my MMO of 2010. Jason.
Um, the biggest ones that I was kicking around were War and Star Trek, and Star Trek. I think the most impressive thing what they've done is that with that game is in the history of MMOs. Like, is there any denial that they've reacted the quickest? Like,
No, I mean they to the community and to the need of the game, they, as far as I know, are the quickest to fix what they need to fix, or
they just came out guns blazing. Like,
Yeah.
just they were kicking ass, like, and taking community support in hand. Like God,
Well-
that game came out in what, September of '09,
yeah, something like that.
and you look at that game now, it is completely different. That
Yeah.
it is so much more thematic driven, which is what it should be. The episodes in that game are just the immersion that they have in there are pretty incredible. When you look at the story aspects of what they're doing, and have you guys done a lot of the episodes?
I haven't done a lot.
done a lot.
No.
Jinx.
They're really good. It definitely makes you feel more immersed into the Star Trek universe. And I'm definitely very, very excited for the third side that's coming, right?
Yeah.
Eventually it should. I mean, they want to really...
They want to flesh out the two sides first, because
they
they
want to
said
get Klingons up to par.
the thing again that I respect about Cryptic and their community polls is, first of all, that the community polls that go up, whatever gets voted, that's what fucking goes in the game. Like soon after, not all content, of course, like the third side, but because what they had put up the poll, it said if there was a third side to be put into the game, hint hint, what would you guys want to see? And Romulans just won the poll hands down. And they were like, well, we know what side's going in there, we just don't know when, and stuff like that. And I don't know, it's just, yeah, they said that at one point they were like, yeah, we're going to put Romulans, and then they were like, well, actually, all the feedback's saying that you guys want more Klingon content, so then they decided to do that first and give more content to both sides that are in there now, and then bring the Romulans up to speed with those two sides and make it all like a, all that kind of stuff. But I like how they're doing a lot of the cross, like with the episodes, you can have, just for doing the episode, you get like special officers and stuff like that. I like that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I think that's, out of MMO-wise, that it's crazy how much they're doing to address the issues, which are apparently part of the problem with that game. But it's pretty cool to see that. But
yeah, I definitely see Star Trek Online as the game that has surprised me the most this year. But War is personally the game that I've enjoyed the most.
Well, and then I'm getting back to that because, like, it's so hard for me to try to pick apart these games. War, MMO-wise, that's my favorite part of is PvP, and I have a hard time with the static parts of other MMOs, and Star Trek Online is really getting there with these story parts when I log into a game, and they have different things where I have to go try and read the actual text and do everything to try to figure out what the answer is to a quest. But just to log in and actually fuck people up, I've had a lot of fun with War, and especially with the changes they've done to T4 and the other ones with the Skaven and everything. I really like that world, and I really like just logging in and going to keeps and different things. I've had a lot of fun, so I think my MMO is going to be War.
Well, cool. I think that wraps up the show. Thank you for a great 2010 to all of our listeners and everybody that's emailed in. And that's another thing. Anybody that did email in for this week's podcast with the MMO of 2010 category, you're automatically entered into winning a copy of Lead and Gold through Steam. So we will be emailing you back if you did win. So there's that. You have Rare to thank for that, who was in the feeling of giving for Christmas, for the holiday season. So
it was a damn good sale.
It's a good game.
I've never played it.
I played it. It's pretty good.
Awesome.
Never touched it.
But yeah, we will see you on the other side of the new year, and we'll see you in 2011.
Well, gentlemen, no point in hanging around this dump any longer.
Wait! Where are you going? I was going to make espresso.
Show's over, folks.
You can't go! All the plants are going to die. Take off, eh?
Thanks for listening to Multiplaying, the companion podcast at multiplaying.net. Questions, comments, feedback, errors, etc. can be sent to multiplaying@gmail.com. We invite you to write a review on iTunes and visit our website at www.multiplaying.net.
We've made a lot of friends, shared a lot of laughs. often at the expense of others.
I think some people are going to be upset.
Let me just close this conversation by saying you are one unique individual.
Thank you and good night.